It's 4:10 on already what is the fourth Tuesday of March. Time's flying by, but I've been looking forward to having this conversation and introducing you to a new segment we got going on here on Afternoons Live, Real Estate Remix. And in studio are two realtors that you're going to have a great time getting to know over the course of this next year. Poonam, Budhiraja.
That's correct.
I got it right. Been practicing all week, and I still got it wrong on the break. And Aruna Hagen, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
I want to start off because we're introducing you to the Afternoons Live audience. I got to meet both of you last week, and we thought we are going to have just like a 15-minute conversation. All of a sudden, an hour and a half passed by, and we're still having fun. You two are sisters that are involved in real estate. My question is, first off, one, how'd you get involved in real estate? Then secondly, how was it working with a sibling? Because I can't imagine doing that with my two brothers. Yeah. Poonam, I'll throw it to your way because you're the one that giving the side eye to Aruna here.
Yes, I'm the oldest one, and thank you, Tyler, for having us here. We are very excited. So we're born Indian, and I moved here in 2008. Prior to that, I lived in England. So talking about real estate, this is our family business back home. That's what my dad did, my granddad did. So, we grew up learning about real estate. I did retail, insurance, banking. Aruna did marketing, retail. So we both realized that, real estate is the thing for us. And as siblings, we are competitive. So we both got into it. And as far as working together with her, she can be bossy sometime.
It's the younger sibling thing. I've been told that because I'm the youngest one in my family, too.
Well, here's the thing. Being Indian, there is a thing like older kid of the family always take in charge, rule the other siblings. So my sister, as soon we walk in the house, for God's sake, like she's the boss. Aru, get me the chai. Aru, get me this. Aru, get me that. And guess what? God did give me the opportunity to take revenge from her, for God's sake. So I started real estate before her in 2009. As soon we get in the office, guess what? I start. Poonam, do this. Poonam, do that.
Yeah, she is the boss. Yes. And, she's over-exaggerating. Yes, hierarchy is the thing in Indian families, but I don't boss her around. I do a lot of the stuff, too. Talking about working together, I guess we work well together because we both know each other's weaknesses and strengths. And she's pretty good in she's thorough with paperwork, and I'm pretty good in negotiating. So we both actually bring... we tell our clients, you get two for the price of one. Mm-hmm. So I guess we both bring our experience for our clients' best interest together on the table.
Sure.
I would say, yes, we both have our ups and downs, and we have our happy days and sad days. We had those moments where we say, today we are going to get a sister divorce. But officially we can't sign the papers because in a day or maybe in a couple of hours, I will be at her house or maybe she'll be at my home. And guess what? The main thing is because we work together. Yes. We cannot say goodbye to each other or say, we're finally divorced, we're going to sign the papers. So, we cannot do it.
So us not having a divorce, the credit goes to our clients. Thank you so much.
for going through these two individuals. Well, you've been involved in real estate, you mentioned, for, 17 years.
So I started real estate in 2009.
And I started in 2012.
Okay. So, that's still a long time to be involved in this industry, and there's been a lot of changes that have happened over the course of that. 2008, 2009, we were coming out of a housing crash.
Yes.
Now in this metro area in Fargo-Moorhead, which is where primarily your business is in this metro area, we've kind of been sheltered from that. But as we've moved in now to post-COVID and the rates being what they are now, the first-time home buyers, there's people that are kind of going back and forth of, well, should I buy or should I rent? Is a question I always get. I imagine you always get it. I'm just a talk show host. You're realtors. So when somebody comes in with some of those questions of, is the time now for me to buy? What's that conversation look like with you two?
Well, it's $1 million question, or should I say it's a $275,000 question? Yeah. Ask me why. Because that's our median price range in Fargo-Moorhead. I would say real estate is regional, and that's what I tell my clients. One of the biggest advantage we have in our area is how affordable home buying is. if you compare our rents for a single family home are roughly between $1,800 and $2,200 per month. If you talk about a single family, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-stall garage home, and same home cost on average in our area, $275,000. Now compare this to some of the markets that are really chaos, California, Los Angeles, 3-bedroom house for rent, $3,500 to $5,000. To buy the same home, that's first of all, the value, the cost of the home is about $700,000 to $1 million. So you're talking about $4,500 to $6,000 in monthly payments.
Yeah.
So you can do the math yourself. We're pretty affordable when we want to buy the home. Mm-hmm. So $2,000 in rent versus $2,150 in payment for the same house, $150 difference. So it's a no-brainer.
The question that follows up with that is some of those people that are kind of in that limbo. They've been renting and they understand what you just said, Poonam, that, look, $175, $150 difference I can actually own instead of paying this lease. But I can't find the home to buy. Is the inventory out there in this market back for those, maybe that medium or that first-time home buyer? Because that's always been a concern that people can't just find that first-time home.
Finding a first-time home, when I meet my clients, the first thing I tell them, basically I'm refreshing their memory. I say, do you remember our first car? Because, it's a human nature. We always want everything. Yeah. We never feel complete. We never feel content. So that's the first thing when I'm meeting the clients, especially our first-time home buyers, they sit with us and they say, they must have a fully fenced yard. They must have 4 bedrooms. They must have a master suite. So all those things when we're doing pros and cons or going through their search criteria, I just have to step back, very politely, very respectful and remind them, guys, do you remember our first car? So first home will not be a forever home, first of all, because everything is technically coming from your savings or you're basically relying on the programs out there for down payment. Mm-hmm. So there will be a lot of compromises will be made. So when we are dealing with finances, tight budget, and want everything. So I always remind them.
Have more realistic expectations. So we tell them to sit down and see what works for their family. So if you're expecting a baby, I would say, and that's something I've seen many first-time home buyers do a mistake. You'll see many homes come for sale that are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-stall garage. And 1 bedroom is upstairs and 2 down. And if you, a large percentage of those homes are sold by families who are now expecting a child. Mm. So think about your future, especially your immediate planning. Next few years, are you planning a baby? If you are, you need at least 2 bedrooms on the same floor. So you need to make 3 lists. You need to make your wish list. You need to make your, realistic, this is what I need, and also make a list of something that you can compromise. Mm-hmm. And along with budgeting and stuff, yes, we are sitting with low inventory, as you mentioned, low inventory. And we're not like some of the other markets where builders are just building, we even for construction as well, it's limited construction going on. And especially, Tyler, you said the right thing for first-time home buyer price range, that $275,000 to $300,000. Absolutely. Those homes are golden inventory. So we have low inventory, but dating. Do you just go and meet somebody and start dating that person? No, you don't. Have patience, guys. Work with a good lender, work with a good realtor, and try to find the home. So having patience and having a set plan would get them the home for sure.
I'm still working on the patience thing. It's been a lifelong journey of mine. I'm not a very patient guy. You two are going to learn that over the course of this next year. In studio is Poonam and Aruna. It's Real Estate Remix. You got a question, send that in right now to 35270. We'll come back to this conversation next on KFGO. Real Estate Remix here on Afternoons Live. I would encourage you to, if you got your computer, if you got your phone, obviously if you're not driving, if you go to KFGO.com, you can scroll down and see the podcast Real Estate Remix page right there. And you can actually go and you can learn a little bit more about Aruna and Poonam, who are in studio. They're going to be joining us on the 4th Tuesday of every month. We're talking about that decision, ladies, about the difference of renting and buying. And I know, Poonam, you talked about having that plan that if you're planning to have a child, you got to take that into account. But there's a lot of other stages in life that people need to have consideration. I mean, we've talked about divorce. We've talked about job changes. I mean, all those things that people really need to consider when making this decision.
Absolutely. Renting is not for everybody. Buying is not for everybody. Renting is good for you because, especially in some of the situation, like if you're going to be, if you're young, you just got out of the college and you're going to be moving around and you're not sure if you're going to be in the area for 2 to 3 years. Absolutely. Flexibility. You can move whenever you want. You don't want to be committed to a long-term financial commitment. Like most of our loans are 30 years,
Like we are dealing with our teenager right now. My daughter will be graduating high school. So, all these teenager kids, they just want to fly so high. Being parent, you want your kids to be around you versus they're totally opposite. They just want to fly so high. So this is like one of the biggest topic in our family right now, that where do you want to go? And like being a parent, I always tell my daughter, why don't you go to NDSU? Why don't you go to UND? But where versus the kids are like, nope, we want to explore. So as Poonam said, I think that's especially with our younger generation who are like maybe in their early 20s or who are still like figuring out what profession they will be, what college they will be going. It's okay for them to start their life as a rental candidate, because then they will be able to have the financial responsibility that they will learn how to pay rent on time. So that's all learning experience. But yes, definitely a lot of our younger generation who are just entering into the college or getting graduates and who are still exploring, I can see them definitely going for the rental option.
Yes, absolutely. And to add to that, I would say financial stability is really important as well. As you said, if somebody is single, just one income, depending on what their income is, or going through a divorce, or, whatever the reason is, if you're in one job and it's a steady income coming, be sure that you make your budget first as well. And I always say, many experts have said that in finance, never go over 30% of your gross income.
I was going to ask that question about what that budget is, as far as what you should be setting aside for that lease or for that that mortgage payment. 30% is what
I would say 30% of your gross income. That's the safe way to be. So if you're making $100,000 a year as a family, do not go over $30,000 per year in your monthly payment, which is about $2,500 a month in your monthly payment for your home mortgage.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, and what you two just described was exactly what I went through. I mean, when I came to NDSU, I'm not originally from the Fargo area. Every year, different apartment.
See?
And then I finally got the, quote, big boy job after I got my bachelor's degree. And then it was time for me to, because I had that steady income. I knew that I had that job, that stability. And then I was fortunate, and when we're talking about that transition, especially in that first-time home, there are opportunities. There's programs out there for a number of people listening to actually take advantage of. I wouldn't have got in my first home if I didn't have the first-time home buyer program.
Right.
Absolutely. And, many people have this myth that they have to save thousands and thousands of dollars.
Have to have 20% down. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, every other buyer, we meet at the open house or we meet in person somewhere in the mall or talking in general. Oh yeah, it's been that many years, but I couldn't save that much money. I'm like, how much you are thinking to save even? Well, I have heard I have to have a 20%. And I'm like, no. My own personal experience, I have seen my own buyers having the house key, having the ownership, literally with $2,000. So just imagine becoming a homeowner in $2,000. Because of those programs out there, a lot of people are not aware of it.
And many people don't know that North Dakota Housing Financing Agency offers a 3% down payment assistance program. And so far that's there. Who knows when it will be taken away. And the kicker is that if you stay in your home for 8 years, you don't have to give that money back. So you're leaving the free money on the table. So if you do move out even in 4 or 5 years, it's a prorated amount you're giving back.
Well, and it helps you get into the market. And I want to talk about what that building does once you own that home, and then you decide to make that next move. You get out of the first-time home. You maybe use these programs and what that means for just your own finances. We got to get caught up with the KFGO News Update. It's Real Estate Remix. If you got a question, you can send those in The Adventure RV Text Club is found at 35270. Go to kfjo.com. You can learn more about Poonam and Aruna. In fact, we'll talk a little bit about some HGTV as well. And I want to hear some success stories. They've been realtors in this area for a number of years, and they've helped a lot of people. Perhaps some of you that are listening right now. So when we come back after KFGO News, more Real Estate Remix right here on KFGO. State Remix here on KFGO. In studio are Poonam and Aruna. We're talking about real estate, and quite frankly, well, besides the introduction of who they are and how you can use their service, we're just talking about people that are making that decision about either renting or buying. And Aruna, I'll throw this your way because I kind of left off about the financing aspect. Once somebody takes that leap, they buy that first-time home, and that financial advantage to it. In that long term, because I know when I was renting, a different place every year for 5 years, then I finally took advantage of the first-time home buyers program in North Dakota. I was able to get in, and then after 10 years in that house, when I put that thing up for sale, oh my word, with the growth and what that asset was. I mean, I should have known. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know, and I don't think that's talked about enough with people trying to decide if now's the right time to actually go buy a home.
So, very good point, by the way. As you said, like your own personal experience, like you bought the home and you put the house on sale after 10 years. So I'm pretty sure you are experienced homeowners. So you were able to see this is what you call wealth building. Owning a home, we say real estate is an asset. And that's why we say it's basically a wealth building. You know what I mean? So over the time, as you pay down your mortgage, your property value increases. So you can basically have a significant wealth increase when you own a home.
Right.
I'm going to talk about hard numbers here. So let's look at a median price range, $275,000 home. Our historical data says that our house prices are appreciating about 4 to 6% annually every year. So based on that, the home value is going up about $11,000 to $16,500 every year. And, there's something called leverage. So, let's say you buy a property, you put for a $300,000 property, you're putting 5% down. So that's $15,000 down. And if the house goes up in value by 5%, $300,000 home is going up by 5%.
Every year.
That's $15,000 up. So next year your home is $315,000. Do you see? You doubled your money. You put $15,000. Now you gained profit on $300,000. That's practically doubling your money. That's wealth building. But you know what? If other areas, if you're really, other resources where you can, make your money faster than home buying and you are not looking for that emotional financial commitment, then it's different. But I would say the majority of the American people, if you look at the stats, homeowners have built wealth way faster than non-homeowners.
Yeah. And the advantage, like you say, the appreciation was like 4 or 5% every year. I mean, it does add up because after 10 years, once we put that on the market compared to what we bought it for, shocked. Absolutely. And I also, just full disclosure, I got in on the sweet spot when, mortgage rates were at like 2.75. Yeah. But, so the timing of making the leap into buying a home as well, you have the personal side, you have the stages of life, you have the programs we talked about, but there's also that fear at times that people are looking at the mortgage rates right now and saying, oh, but it's at this, thinking that, this is so bad when it's in fact not. Walk through that mindset when you have somebody coming and saying, oh, but the mortgage rates, I don't know if I can financially make this work.
Tell me what's going cheaper in this market. Is your car going cheaper or your groceries going cheaper? Do we not buy that? Do we not need a roof on our head? Tell me the rents. Are rents going up? Yes, our data shows, matter of the fact I checked, our rents are going up about 3% every year. And, yes, we got spoiled by this interest rate, 2.75 to 3.5% during pandemic. But that was one-off.
Yeah.
Prior to that, this is where interest rates used to be. So actually, do you know there is a supply and demand change? If the myth is that, okay, interest rates are higher, so we're going to wait. Why wait? actually buy now, you can always refinance later, even if the interest rate goes down. So this is the time, because when interest rate goes down, guess what? Demand is going to go up. Supply is going to still going to be the same. That means the house price, which is going up 4% now, at that time when demand goes up and supply is still the same, what happens?
Going
the
up.
Price
the price
is going
up.
So here we go.
And then you're going to find yourself back at square one, and then you're going to say, why didn't I just do it at that time?
Yes.
Absolutely. And buying a home right now and refinancing it in few years, actually you're gaining 2 points. First, your property is appraising. Second, you're not stuck with this interest rate. You are able to go ahead and refinance it to the lower interest rates. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I still think they're in win-win situation either way. So I would still say, do not waste your money in rent. I would still encourage people to still come out and purchase their own homes because
Absolutely.
there's always options out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and the thing that I keep hearing is, don't do the delay. If you can make it work, and of course people have to go and visit with you two to try to find a way to make it work, which I haven't really been good at saying where they can find you. Obviously, right here on the fourth Tuesday of every month. But talk about the business that you two have as sisters working together. And you've been successful because you've been doing this for 17 years.
Yes, we work for, our company name is Better Homes and Garden Real Estate Advantage One. And I'm going to say the best way to reach me is my cell phone number. We normally used to say...
when we were rookie agents, when we were brand new agents, so, I used to say, call me anytime, text me anytime, which I guess I'm not opposed to still, because I still say that we are very passionate about real estate. But now I think that things change, life change, kids are growing and...
But no, please do not call us at 1 a.m. Like other day, my husband's phone rang and, I at 1 o'clock and I said, answer it. So he owns a couple of businesses, including a crawfish business. So the guy said, do you have crawfish tomorrow? 1 a.m. No, please do not
never
do
know when
that.
that craving strikes. You figure out what that crawfish is.
Right. That causes the reasons for divorces.
Yeah.
So please do not call us at 1 a.m.
Yes. So definitely our cell numbers are the best sources to reach out. Like a lot of people, they reach out through our emails as well. But I still think text messages and the phone calls are the faster response to reach out to us.
And do you want us to say our numbers? Or
That's totally up to you. Just know that there's tens of thousands of people listening right now.
Absolutely. 701-552-2937. Only call us if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Thank you.
And mine is 701-552-1706. And do not call anytime after 1 a.m. You can certainly reach out to us.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's
Yes.
going to be okay.
Yes.
And one thing I'll add to finding a way to contact you, if you go to kfgo.com, you as listeners out there, you can find the real estate remix page, and you can learn more about Aruna and Poonam. But there's also the questionnaire right there, so you can leave a question there. They'll get it, and they'll be able to contact you as well. Derek Hansen's producing back there. It looked like you had something you wanted to either ask or comment
Yeah, I've been
on.
kind of looking for houses for a while now. And the one thing I find out, and we got a Menards ad coming up here soon. Many of these houses, what I look at, are there any programs as far as like when you are looking at a loan? Because many of these places, they're nice, but there's going to be like $20,000 worth of work that you got to put into it too. And so that's caused me a lot of anxiety when I'm looking at it. I'm not a fixer-upper type of person either. That's really interesting to me because there's so many cute homes and you think, oh, this would be perfect, but I got to do this. I got to do that. And that is one thing that always gives me anxiety when I'm looking at houses.
You asked the right question. My question to my clients or you will be, why are you looking for those homes that are upper fixer? Because upper fixer is not for everybody. I totally understand if it requires a little bit of cosmetic work, absolutely, not that difficult. But if it needs more extensive labor work and you don't want to open the cans of worms, I'm not saying stay away from it, but I'm saying it's not for everybody. Answer to your question, are there any loans out there that would that's available? Absolutely. There are loans available that you can get for the renovation. There is more paperwork required to that. So, later on, if you want, I could certainly send you the, lender's name and stuff who could do that for you.
Look, I think you might have just got a client here live on radio, and he just happens to be a colleague of ours, Derek Hansen, over there.
There you go.
Well, I'm sure, it's just one of those things too. And I think it's kind of caused a lot of people that are maybe just looking for a new home because why they want to deal with, refine to do all the stuff at home. They just rather go and move in ready sometimes. I'm sure you run into that too. So
absolutely. And if you're looking, unless it's a specific area that you want to be close to your mother, close to your sister, and those are the areas that are older areas or whatever your reason is, you want to be close to a university and or a strict budget, I totally understand. But really, there is variety. That's the plus point of our area. There's variety of homes available. I would rather, personally, I am not a fixer-upper type of person, and I like my time with my family. Imagine coming home and you have so many fixes to do, even though you can do it yourself. Yeah. Both of you are working. You have kids to attend to, take them to, their games. That can add extra stress and pressure on the family. One other thing, you can share that example. Remember, Aruna, when somebody moved from Fargo to Dilworth?
Oh, actually, yep. And
I like that reaction. Okay.
And think about it. Fargo to Dilworth, maybe 15-minute drive?
Depending on what road you're taking.
Exactly, like 15 to 20-minute drive. And it's a real story. A few years ago, our client, they have bought and sold like multiple transactions with us, multiple homes with us. So they asked us to build a home, like help them to build a home in Dilworth. We did. Beautiful home, custom home. Oh my gosh, within less than a year, I'm getting a phone call. Aruna, we need to come back to West Fargo. I was like, oh, what happened? For God's sake, the house you built, it was a fully custom home up to $800,000. Beautiful home. So coming just from Dilworth to West Fargo, because they couldn't find the daycare in that neighborhood, first of all.
Yeah.
So she was telling me that she has to leave every morning at least 30 minutes before to make sure that her kids are dropped on the right daycare, and then go to, of course, stop by the Starbucks, have a coffee, and then, of course, go to her work.
Absolutely. With our busy lives, we are already, we have so much going on. They said it's taken about 2 hours of their family time just because of this commute. So that's why when you are looking for a home, whether it's a location, whether it's a fixer-upper, condition, floor plan, planning is really important, because home is not just about financial planning. It's about emotional, logical, so many different aspects. You have to sit down and make a list and go according to that.
Well, and to that point, because I think there's some people that have that fear that, okay, we're going to make this decision, then I'm stuck with it. You just mentioned that somebody after a year. But in that initial stage about that planning aspect, that's what I assume that you two are part of that process of asking those questions, making sure that when they make the leap into whatever home, whatever area, whatever stage of life they're in, that you're helping guide them in that decision.
Absolutely. So we do encourage our clients to come and sit with us in our office, at least first couple of meetings, because, they just met with us. We don't know their lifestyle. We don't know where their kids go to school. We don't know where they work. So I don't like working on just phone calls or the internet. I like personal touch with my clients. So please come and meet with us in our office to basically discuss what you're looking for.
And, but it's a profession for us, but there is more to that. We understand how much emotions are attached to it, and it's the biggest investment a family makes. So we want them to be succeeding in this. We want them to contact us after a few years, make money, and get a bigger house. So, the myth is realtors are going to ask you to buy a home because it's your profession. No, we have told clients to wait. After going through their pros and cons and their needs and wants, we have told them to wait, whether it was a reason that, wait till your credit goes up or wait till you pay that off. So we are big about budgeting and educating our clients. If it means waiting, absolutely. But sometimes waiting is not right, because guess what? We got those down payment assistance programs right now. We got the tax abatements for brand new properties. If you have a steady income, who knows what happens tomorrow? Because, certain requirements to get a loan is you have to have 2 years full-time job history. So if everything is there and you can afford it and all those things are matching, absolutely. Let's go for it.
What I like about what you just described is I think there's that concern for somebody that's never done the process before, that if I pick up the phone and I call one of you, and no, not at 1 a.m. in the morning, that appropriate hours of doing business.
Yes.
That all of a sudden you're stuck with that you have to go through with something. And what you just said, that peace of mind is we're going to work with that client, that potential buyer, to find the right property and, more importantly, the right time for when they can or if they should. So it's not I'm going to call one of you and then all of a sudden, well, we're getting to the bottom line that you are, in fact, going to be doing this.
Right.
There's kind of that fear of taking the leap, so to speak.
Like from day one when we start working with our clients, I don't know, I always try my best to tell them that this will be a teamwork. We don't want you to just do all the research. There's a reason why you are hiring us, because this will be a teamwork. And at the day of closing, when you will be getting your house keys, it will not be a success just for you guys. It will be success for us as well. That bingo, one more family got the house keys.
Absolutely. And you'll hear us using this dating thing over and over again because I think that's the best connection. I would say renting is like dating. Like, if you're not, again, that's the conversation we have with our clients.
Yep.
If you're new to it, you're young, and you just want to see different
Explore.
areas and explore, dating means go.
I totally get it. I get the analogy.
Marriage, it's a long-term, serious financial, emotional commitment. Same thing with home buying. You can't just walk away from a home because now you don't like that dated cabinet. so the
It's
planning
commitment.
is important. Yes,
And of course, it's a commitment.
Yeah. Well, and it's a commitment that you need to have the experts to help you guide through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to get into this next month, perhaps. But there have been some changes in the industry where I think there's some people that think, well, I can do this, right?
Right.
No, you need to have the expertise. I mean, you two have been doing this for a very long time. You have a number of success stories that we didn't have time to get to today. For families in this area, people that have moved to this area,
Right.
Whether it's for the university or for the, the hospital, where we have people coming in to call Fargo-Moorhead home, and they've relied on you two to find them the homes that they're going to be a part of this community on. Before we end up having to close out this month's conversation, again, you go to kfgo.com. You can learn more about these two fine realtors, which, of course, is Poonam and Aruna. But for them to want to reach out to you, aside from KFGO, just give the contact information again, because you're going to be getting calls following this conversation today.
My number is 701-552-2937. You can certainly email me as well. It's motivated, the way you spell word motivated, motivated, 827@gmail.com.
And mine is 701-552-1706. And you can email me as well. My first name, aruna.g.hagen@gmail.com.
We're going to be doing this every fourth Tuesday of the month. And again, they are the real estate team from Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Advantage 1. Or you can just go to kfjo.com and find them all right there. Ladies, it's been fun. Is there anything you want to get out before I let you go this month?
You want to cover it up?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I would say, to wrap this up, I would say homeownership isn't just a financial decision. It is definitely a major one, but it's also a personal and emotional decision as well. So it's a satisfaction that you get after you call a place your own, but please go through your steps. Work with professionals, work on your budgeting, work on make sure you're financially secure. So make sure you look at all those points before you make this decision. So there is advice out there. Just take it and then act on that.
And I always say, don't get disappointed, because we had clients in the past where they had met some lenders or some realtors and things did not work out. I always say, don't quit on yourself. Don't get disappointed. Try to meet good professionals who want to work with you and who are still hungry and who are still passionate about the business.
Ladies, this will be a fun year. I'm looking forward to having this conversation again next month. And again, for all you listening, go to kfjo.com. You can find the Real Estate Remix podcast page right there where you can hear from this conversation. Of course, we'll have all this and their contact information right there. Again, our guests today have been Poonam and Aruna. But, folks, I'm looking at the clock, and this is about it for me today. I'm Tyler Axness, your host here on Afternoons Live, and I'll be back for more of the show again tomorrow. Till then, you drive safely. You take care of yourself.